Do you ever feel like financial success is some big secret? Well, what if it's not? What if it's just a simple blueprint? Today, we're going to dive into a story that lays out 5 super clear, timeless principles for building real, lasting wealth. So, let's get into it. And it all kicks off with a question that, honestly, most of us have probably asked at some point. A young guy feeling totally stuck just wanted to know, how do I change my life? How do I actually get ahead? And his journey to figure that out, well, that's what we're going to follow.
So let's meet Sam. He's 27, and for the last 5 years, man, he has been grinding. He's making a decent living, but his life, it's just flatlined. He's not out there buying fancy stuff, but he just can't seem to get ahead. You know that feeling, right? You're putting in all the work, but you're not seeing any real progress.
So, looking for some answers, Sam ends up meeting this guy, Mr. Hayes. Super wealthy, but also incredibly wise and down to earth. And this one conversation, you guys, this is the moment everything changes. It's where he gets the blueprint that completely flips his life around.
All right, so Mr. Hayes breaks it down into 5 key principles. And we're starting right at the bottom with the absolute bedrock. Think of it like building a house. This first part is the foundation. If you don't get this right, the whole thing is going to come crashing down.
So the very first, absolutely non-negotiable step. Principle number 1.
And it is, spend less than you earn. I know. It sounds almost too simple, right? But its power is that it's just true. Mr. Hayes makes it super clear. This is the foundation. It doesn't matter if you're making a little or a ton of money. If you're always spending more than you bring in, you can forget about building wealth. It's just not going to happen. You've got to master this before anything else.
Okay, so once you've got that down, the second principle builds right on top of that solid foundation.
And that's creating an emergency fund. Mr. Hayes has a great way of putting it. He calls it your financial safety net. And that's exactly what it is. Because let's face it, life is going to throw curveballs at you. And this fund is what catches you when things go sideways. It's what stops a little hiccup from turning into a total financial disaster. And here's exactly why that safety net is so important. Your car breaks down out of nowhere, the roof starts leaking, you get laid off. I mean, this stuff happens, right? Without that cash cushion, what do? You're forced into debt, or you have to sell off some investments at the worst possible time. This fund, it gives you breathing room, it gives you options, and takes away so much of that panic.
Okay, so you've got your foundation poured and your safety net in place. So what's next? Well, now we shift gears a little bit. We move from just protecting your money to actively growing your biggest asset. You.
And that brings us to principle number 3.
Now, for a guy like Sam, who doesn't have a bunch of cash to play with, this piece of advice from Mr. Hayes is an absolute game changer. He says the best investment you can possibly make right now is in yourself. We're not talking about the stock market here. We're talking about skills. And the best part? It's something literally anyone can start doing, like today.
So you might be thinking, okay, great, but how do I actually do that? Well, this gives us a perfect roadmap. Whatever you do, maybe you're a carpenter, you're great with customers, take that skill and just pour your time, your energy, and a little of that money you've saved into becoming the best. Go take a course, buy some better tools for your job, read every book you can find on your industry. The whole point, the big idea, is to make yourself more valuable. All right, so you've got the foundation. You've invested in yourself and your skills are sharper than ever. Now comes the really exciting part. This next phase is all about leverage. It's about turning that personal growth into actual financial growth by actively bringing in more money. And Mr. Hayes breaks this down into a super simple 2-step process. Step 1, use your awesome new skills to earn more money. Step 2, take that extra money and use it to build passive income. So principle number 4 is all about earning more. But listen, this is more than just asking for a raise. It's a total shift in how you think. You've got to move away from getting paid for your time, an hourly wage, and start getting paid for what you produce, for the value you create. This is often the point where people think about starting their own business, because suddenly, the harder and smarter you work, the more you can actually earn. There's no ceiling. And that leads us right to the 5th and final principle, creating passive income. Now that you've got extra cash coming in, the goal is to put that money to work for you, so you don't have to. Maybe that means buying a rental property or starting a small business that doesn't need you there 24/7. Whatever it is, you're buying assets that generate income without you having to constantly trade your time for it. Honestly, this is the step that builds true, long-term wealth.
So you could imagine, after hearing these 5 principles, Sam's whole outlook just changes. Everything clicks. So let's pull all this together now and talk about what this means for you. This quote from Sam just says it all, doesn't it? He went from just working hard and hoping things would get better to realizing that building wealth isn't about luck at all. It's about having a strategy. It's a plan. He finally has his blueprint.
And now, that same blueprint is yours. Spend less than you earn, build a safety net, invest in yourself, use those skills to earn more, and then create passive income. The path is laid out, it's super clear. So really, there's only one question left. What's your first step going to be?